Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you could see it and you could purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. And today we are discussing the Hautlence HLQ08, 44mm in grade 5 titanium. The watch sits flat, almost flush to the wrist at just over 11mm thick. This one is 11.2 with a 49.3mm lug-to-lug dimension and a broad spacing of 22mm between the lugs, so it's handsomely planted on the wrist. Effectively, it wears like a big circular saucer because the lugs are so short and tightly cropped. It easily fits around my 16cm circumference wrist, and I can recommend it for wrists as small as 14.5 to 15cm circumference. The timepiece is light, all in titanium. It's equipped with a flat strap of large rectangular scale alligator leather, but with sort of nubuck, almost suede smooth finish. It has a matte visual execution with a folded edge and a monotone stitch. You will note that in order to drill close to the case and keep the strap fully mobile and unimpeded, Hautlence has used curved spring bars, so you have the ability to pull down around a small wrist. Now, the strap is reasonably thick for a construction that's not bolstered. It's calfskin on the underside, and you can see on both sides there are pull-tab spring bars for tool-free removal of the strap. There's also a handsome Hautlence titanium pin buckle, which you can see features both the company's signature assembly screws and the Mobius strip, or the symbol of infinity. This is a timepiece that is handsomely executed top and bottom, and you can see on its flank as well. The crown is distinctive, featuring the Hautlence logo as well as a cladding on the side. You can see that there is sort of a flanking shear guard structure to the crown. Turn it all over though, and you see a symmetrical structure on the other side. There's a combination of curves, angles, satin, and polish that breaks up the flank of the case and gives it an interesting techno-industrial kind of articulation. Now, there is a pusher at 12 o'clock, and you may be wondering, what on earth does that do? That changes the date. The HLQ, Q for quantième, is the HL circular, but with a calendar. Now, the dial has several different layers. As you can see, there are the tracks surrounding the scale for the retrograde minutes as well as the jumping hour, and then you have lower level featuring blackened matte finished components, and there are dial side black polished assembly bolts worthy of FP Journe. When you get a little bit closer, however, you can see this independent based out of Neuchâtel, far from FP in Geneva, uses a visible mechanism that shows you both the underlying structure of the jump hour as well as the swing arm system with counterweight and ruby rollers that handles the retrograding minutes. And you must be wondering, what does that look like in action? And I'm happy to oblige. You can see loading the cannon. The jump hour is an orbital jump hour with the aperture and pointer itself making the circuit while the numbers remain stationary, and you can see that the numbers are cut out, relieved, satin finished, and elevated over a black base, so there's a three-dimensionality to that register, though it's nothing like what you'll see with the retrograde minutes. Now, you can see the swing arm, the piston, and the counterweight that's used to operate the retrograde, as well as the retrograding scale. Turn it all over, and you can see a little bit more of the caliber HLQ. Manual wind, 40-hour power reserve. You can see it's a 32 joule manufacture movement built by Hautlence, and it beats away at 21,600 vibrations per hour. You know this because, oddly, they write it on the movement. But there's nothing odd about the finish, which is traditional high horology. You can see the gleaming structure at the edge of each bridge as well as surrounding the anchor for the balance. You can see that the skeletonized half bridge for the balance is lighting up and gleaming. There is beautifully fat, broad, and optically clear mirrored anglage on these bridges, and you can see that the quality of the Côte de Genève is high. The screw heads are used in a black polished application rather than being conventionally treated or even blued. They are black polished and lovely. You can really see the black polished screws in particular over the ratchet wheel. The click and the click spring fixing screws are handsomely executed. Satin finish on the crown wheel as well as the ratchet wheel, and if you look closely you can see the mounted plaque denotes this as a limited edition of 88 pieces, which I'm sure has a level of importance to the superstitious. But for me, the watch is a winner for just about anyone. A timepiece that's light on the wrist, Rare hails from an interesting independent, tells time in an animated and entertaining fashion, and is an absolute cinch to own, as Hautlence is also owned by MELB Holdings. Now, they own Moser, and they have Far Eastern distribution rights for a broad number of brands. The Milan family runs Hautlence and Moser as sister firms, and there's a far larger company, MELB, underpinning both Moser and Hautlence, which means there's a lot of money around for product development, servicing things quickly, and supporting the customer. And that's important when you're buying a product of independent watchmaking. And this timepiece is just about everything but an aquatic watch. 30 meters water resistant, so you're not going to take it swimming, but for all other occasions, an absolute piece of horological theater for your wrist, and a rare one at that. See it on the watch box. Hautlence by night, just a little bit of lume.